You're listening to Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about staying on track. Now that we're halfway through January of 2024, we're going to take stock of, are we staying on track, of what our plans are for 2024? Well, we'll ask the cards and find out what they suggest we do to keep it on track. So I have the deck of Life's Potluck Buffet cards. The bottom card is card 41, mentor, as if you were the one being mentored. That was yesterday's card, as you recall. All right, so let's do this. So 3 casual shuffles, as is the technique. Don't sweat the technique. And then 1 thorough shuffle, grand shuffle, great shuffle. And now I look for where there's a gap in the cards, where they're telling me, pick this card. Oh, I see one sticking out right here. Okay. Ooh, I have to get to it. It's going to be tricky. Okay. This is the card that is sticking out the most of any. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's Map Your Own Knowledge. Oh, how fitting, since we're talking about staying on track. As you'll recall from other episodes of Life's Potluck Buffet, the idea of the knowledge here is that licensure test that London cab drivers take. It's more of a series of tests. And they basically need to memorize 25,000 streets in the greater London area. And that is called the knowledge. And in order to be a licensed cab driver in London, you have to pass the knowledge. And so the Map Your Own Knowledge is the key to having a map of your own knowledge. And this is a really good way to stay on track, because as you'll see in previous episodes, if you look back and look at some of the episodes about knowledge maps in terms of your life and work, I at least usually end up drawing a kind of almost treasure map that has like a path that like involves the steps, and staying with each step that you have planned is the way to stay on track, and to not let yourself skip a step or to ignore a step. So if you have this map of where you're going, having the track basically that your own personal train is on, keeping to that track and making sure that you stop at the stations that you have planned on that map is the key to staying on track. I looked online to see what the number one video for track is. And I'm not sure why it's this particular video, but it falls into the category of videos with billions of views. Not a billion views, but billions of views. And it's J Balvin. Do you know J Balvin? I talked a while ago about one of the most viewed videos, period, and that is with Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee. It's Despacito. And that video, and so Daddy Yankee is as I talked about on that episode, is the king of reggaeton. Well, J Balvin, who's I think from Colombia, is the Príncipe del Reggaeton, the Prince of Reggaeton, which is very interesting. So if you are the king of reggaeton, you actually have more views than the Prince of Reggaeton. That hierarchy actually kind of works on YouTube, which is interesting. But it's a video called Mi Gente, and I don't know why this is the number one video for track. I mean, the video is the song Mi Gente is, as the title suggests, in Spanish. So I'm not exactly sure where the word. I looked at the lyrics of it, and the word track sure does not appear in the lyrics. I mean, the lyrics are in the description of the video. So it's not as though I looked up some separate page with the lyrics. So, and when I do a search, it doesn't appear on the page. There's only one result, and that's the word I typed in, track. So I don't know why the most viewed video for the search track is Mi Gente by J Balvin. By the way, I also looked at some YouTube shorts when J Balvin was actually speaking, because I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be Jota Balvin, since it's Spanish language video, but I thought it was a long shot. I didn't think there was much of a chance that it was going to be Jota Balvin, but just to check, you never know, right? So, but it's J Balvin. It's the letter J in English, which is Jota in Spanish, but it's J Balvin. Okay, so, and J Balvin, Prince of Reggaeton. His video has fewer views, though 3.3 billion views. Fewer views than the Despacito, the video with Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee, the king of reggaeton, which I on a previous episode I explained that's why I thought that video had so many views, is they had that kind of, it wasn't Luis Fonsi, it was Daddy Yankee, actually, because Daddy Yankee's videos have millions upon millions of views, hundreds of millions of views, whereas Luis Fonsi's videos, his solo videos, don't have as many views as that. So I think it was the Daddy Yankee factor there. It's a good song. And so, so is Mi Gente. Mi Gente has got a great beat. You really definitely check it out. I'll put it in the description so that you can listen to it as you are planning your knowledge map. And the way to do that is to start from the end point. So have a sense of where you want to be. Start with that, and then trace backwards to where you are now. And then you'll have stops on the way that you have as markers, as kind of waypoints to get to your final destination, as is your goal. So that gives you a sense of how to stay on track. And one additional pro tip for staying on track is, if life switches the rails so that you're put on another track, go with it. Because as you recall from the episode about not everything that happens to us is because of something we did, I talked about how about 80% of what happens to us is totally out of our control, and maybe 20% is in our control. So there's going to be in your journey here, there's going to be a track shift. The tracks are going to, there's going to be a change in direction so that you're on a different track because it's out of your control. The switches are out of our control. It's a good railway analogy, I think, to think about the switches on the track are not in our control. So that if it happens that you're headed towards that station on your map, your knowledge map, and a switch happens and then all of a sudden you're on this other track, being able to improvise and understand that, okay, how do I make this new station work for my plan? It may involve redrawing the track to go through that new station, but making sure that it gets back to your original plan, because that's what you're contributing to this, and making sure that you keep that goal in mind and your eyes on that, that's the way to keep it on track, even when circumstances change what track you're on.